It is Monday. I almost said Tuesday. I'm still used to being Tuesday. Isn't that messed up? It is Monday, June 15th, 2009. I'm in Wisconsin in a hotel room, but we're making this happen. So the question this week is, what is the top 3 pieces of advice you would give to someone who's starting to lose weight? And I'm really excited to see what everybody's going to say because I know we're all going to have different recommendations. I mean, there's standard things you tell everybody, but there's not just 3. So I'm going to talk about my top 3. My number 1 recommendation to people starting to lose weight is to start small. I've said this 100 times in my videos, and people have now referred to it sometimes as like the snowflaking method or something of losing weight, which is start with something you know you can change just that one thing, and when it becomes easier, then move into the next thing. We have a tendency to rush to find this sense of immediacy in our weight loss, as if a loss, a non-loss, or even a gain one week is like the ruin of us, and that's just not true. I mean, when you get to goal, you're at goal, and then you still have to keep doing it for the rest of your life. So there's no rush. So making small changes is actually going to better prepare you for the long road ahead, as opposed to jumping right in and then overwhelming yourself. For example, when I first started losing weight, about 60 pounds ago, January 2008, I did not start by doing everything perfect. I simply said, okay, my New Year's resolution is to lose weight. What change could I make now that will help me along that road? And what I started by doing was eliminating pizza. I was ordering pizza about once every couple days, so several times a week, and I would eat like the whole pizza in one sitting, or most of it, and I'd have a couple pieces left over for dinner the next day. And all I did was just not eat pizza. A couple weeks later, I stopped drinking soda all the time. A couple weeks later, I stopped getting 2 mochas a day at the stand. A couple weeks later, I started thinking, okay, I'm going to up my water and down my alcohol intake. And a couple weeks later, I started adding vegetables into my diet. A couple weeks later, consciously eating breakfast in the morning. A couple weeks later, starting to get up and move around a little bit on my break at work, as opposed to just sitting through it and eating like I normally would. It was a process of 4.5 months before starting YouTube of very consciously but very slowly changing my habits, so that it wasn't an overwhelming process. Because what I typically had done in the past, the 100 million other times that I had tried to diet and lose weight, I had jumped into doing all of that at once. No pizza, no alcohol, increased water intake, increased veggies and fruit, eating breakfast in the morning, walking and even exercising at the gym every single day, never eating out, never having coffee, cut out the caffeine, cut out the sugar, and my brain would just go until I just totally, completely fell off plan and had no desire to go back there because it was so insane. So, start small. Second piece of advice, treat every day as if you're weighing in the next day. I know that kind of sounds funny, but think about that. That is really something that has been phenomenal for me. Because think about how you act the day before weigh-in, or even 2 days before weigh-in. You start thinking about the salt content and things. You start thinking, okay, maybe I should drink some more water. I should probably get some more fiber. Get the digestion moving along. I mean, what else do you do before weigh-in? You don't eat later at night. You start really thinking about, okay, if I have this bigger meal, what smaller meals can I have to fill up the day so that I don't overeat? Because, you know, heaven forbid I overeat the day before weigh-in. All those little subconscious / conscious but not really recorded things that you do the day before weigh-in are things that actually can become part of your life to the point where you are far healthier than you would be otherwise. So my second piece of advice is to treat every day as if you're weighing in the next day or the day after the next day. So you're always sort of thinking, what is it going to be on the scale? Even without stepping on the scale. I'm not suggesting you start weighing every day. But treat it like that, because your behavior toward food, salt, water, digestion will be so much more positive. It will really, really help you along the journey to health, not only just to weight loss, although I guarantee you'll lose more weight if you do that. And number 3, don't give up. Don't give up. Do you know how many times I started a diet and within a couple of days had blown it and completely just said, fuck it, I can't do this. I obviously am never going to be thin. I mean, I feel like that's the story of my life. Trying really, really hard, jumping into it again, making little excuses every day as opposed to just staying on track, and then completely going off track and deciding just to quit. If you watch my videos and you watch back to my first videos, I think it was day 2 or 3, I went to Olive Garden. Of all days, like right at the beginning of my diet on YouTube. I mean, I had already been making healthier choices, but when I started YouTube was when I started counting calories and I started exercising. And like right away, I went to Olive Garden and I had fettuccine alfredo and I had 2 cocktails and like disaster, a bunch of breadsticks, and it was like, I don't know, it was like 1,000 calories at least, and that was being moderate with my portions there. So I could have very easily just completely fallen off track and been like, oh, I guess I'm not really doing the diet because obviously I'm eating Olive Garden. But instead, I tracked it. I went slightly over my calories that day because I decided I was starving later in the evening and had some crackers and stuff. But the next day, I picked it right up, I kept going, and I also worked out more than I normally would because I wanted to have a really good day because the day before I had felt so shitty about how I'd done. That is the key ingredient. Don't give up. If you have a gain, don't give up because remember we're talking about this is a lifelong process. So if you have a gain one week, it's a lifelong process. You're going to have gains sometimes later in your life too. I mean, what if you get injured? What if you get ill and you can't exercise like you normally do, but you eat the way that you normally do and then you gain weight? I mean, it will happen. It's part of the continuum that we're all on called time. As long as it's going down more often than not, it's okay. It is okay. And you have to know that, and you have to keep telling yourself that because it is okay. Again, with the don't give up, don't be discouraged if there's a small loss and not a big loss. I mean, we put so much stake in the scale, but now that I've lost 58.9 something, I've lost 58.3 pounds in that first goal. I did the calculations for my weight loss over the entire course of time that I was losing weight, and it was an average of 0.76 pounds. So 3/4 of a pound per week, which is less than the healthy average of 1 to 2 pounds per week. But what do you know? I don't have loose skin. I don't look like emaciated or hollow or starved. I don't look like that, I lost weight really, really fast look, which makes you kind of look sickly. I look healthy and vibrant and good, and that's a result of taking it slow and treating myself well throughout the process. So trust the process. Small losses or gains, in the end you will get there. But only if you don't give up. What was that thing I said in a video a long time ago? If you don't give up, you cannot fail if you don't give up. You cannot fail if you don't give up. I know that statement is all negative, but you will win if you keep going. How about that? You will get to goal if you keep going. It is only those who stop that fail. Because there's absolutely no way you can fail if you just keep going. Something to think about. So start small, treat every day as if weigh-in is tomorrow, and never quit. Good luck. I'm really excited to see what everyone else has to say this week, so I will let you go, and I will see you next Monday.